Would you like to see how I created a multi-million-dollar property and stock portfolio in 3 years? This coming with no background in real estate, business, or as an investor. Join me in this series of Rick's Road to First Generation Wealth. Follow me as I outline the first 25 property deals and all the lessons learned from each and all the learnings along the way, the good, the bad. So this will be the first in many series. This first series just covers look over my shoulder and follow me deal to deal, how I built my wealth. And then we'll do some video series on how to manage your wealth, and then there'll be some ongoing videos on all through it will be laced the mindset. Mindset is crucial, absolutely crucial to be a first generation wealth creator, because our working class background often disadvantages us in the world of finance and wealth creation. So we need to learn to overcome that and to retrain ourselves in a different way of thinking. And this channel will help you do that. So let's start now with property deal number 1. Now my first property deal, as with just about everybody, your first property deal is going to be your primary residence, your first house. When it came around, I spent quite a few years in the Marine Corps, so traveling around, I never really had an opportunity to purchase a house, and it wasn't high on my priorities at the time. Then I immigrated, I left the Marines and immigrated to Australia, and shortly after I was here, my marriage broke down, and I was a single parent with 3 kids. In a very low-paying, minimum wage sort of job, because I was new to the country. I was trying to reestablish myself. I didn't think I would be able to purchase a house, but the stars kind of aligned. My babysitter at the time, her husband was a real estate agent. He got access to some of these run-down, derelict sort of homes that are often hard to sell, but they were in condition that usually just needed a bit of cosmetic work. I had just transferred jobs, and in transferring the jobs I had access to some of my retirement funds. It was only a few $1,000s, but it was enough for a deposit for the house. And at the time I was dating a banker who helped me understand how to put together a loan application for housing and the strategy of how I could do that. The house was uninhabitable. Street kids had been living in it. Cabinets are all ripped out, and it was in shocking shape, broken glass everywhere. It was a really run down, it was quite destroyed sort of place. Structurally, the bones of it was good, but cosmetically it was in real bad shape. So what I did is I had enough to purchase the house with my superannuation retirement payment of a few $1,000s. And then once I got in, I got a personal loan, and the personal loan was through a finance company. It was extraordinary, 23% interest or something. It was huge, the interest rate, but they were the only ones going to lend me any money. And so I borrowed $5,000 from them, and with that $5,000, I renovated the house. I did all the work myself, sanded the floors, put in some kitchen cupboards that I had got at salvage yards. Put new carpet in, and I made the house habitable, and so I could move in with my children. And once I was in and I cleaned up the place, all the rubbish, and cleaned up the yards and tidied up, I had the house revalued, and it revalued high enough that I could pay out this personal loan straight away. It was only a few months I had it, and I was off and running then. So that was a bit of a strategy that I got into the house. Using some funds wherever I could. I'd used in these times you'd have credit cards that give you limits to do that, but in those days credit cards, you couldn't get a credit card with that sort of finance. You had to have good credit to get a credit card. So I used a personal loan to do that, and did a good job, did all the work yourself, put the hard work in and get it refinanced, and then quite affordable payments after that. So that's how I got into my first home, and I continued to do some little work on that. There was a studio playroom outside that had burned to the ground, and I cleaned up all the mess, and I put a pergola there, and I did other retaining walls, and just I wasn't very handy, and looking back, the quality of my renovation was really bad. And that's another lesson, is that doing the work I did made it habitable, which added value to the place. Some of my renovations weren't that good, but when I met my current wife, we had two houses. I had a house, she had a house, so I sold my house. I only had it for a few years, and I'd refinanced it already to do the personal loan. I refinanced it again to put in a swimming pool. But the equity gone up, and that was to do with the land values. Again, I was sort of lucky at this time that property values were going up at the time. So even though my renovations weren't very good, I was able to get some money out of the property for the simple fact that the land values have gone up. And it's all about cycles, and we'll talk about that in another video. But so another lesson from this project was that the place habitable by renovating. But the real value is in the land, and just property values going up and getting caught up in that cycle. I mean, there's definitely strategies we'll talk about later about adding rooms and changing the functions of rooms and layouts. There's things you can do that can make a significant increase in the value of a property. But even if you're not handy, just hanging on, just getting into the market, once you're in, then you can ride with it even if you did nothing to the property. So property is a very good investment. I think it's absolutely essential, even if you're not going to be an investor, to have your own house, your primary residence, because it may cost more than renting to get into, but rents will continue to go up over your life. And with your mortgages, that amount will typically go down if you're paying interest and principal on your loans. Over time, interest rates can fluctuate a bit, and that can make your payments go up and down. But as a rule, it's kind of a forced savings. If you hang on to your house for a few years and sell it, you're bound to make money on it that you would have never had renting. And if you keep that house and pay it off, and when you retire, you have a lot of control over your retirement now. You're not going to the whim of landlords of raising your rent continuously and trying to make your pensions and retirement funds last, because you're going to have control over that, and then you could sell that property in your retirement or draw back on it. There's lots and lots of options. So owning your own home is the first start. We'll have other videos and other stories about even if you buy that first home and you turn around as an investment straight away and rent. There's some advanced strategies we can do, and you'll learn about them. But most important is get in, get a mortgage, get a house, get started. The best time to invest in real estate was 10 years ago. The next best time is right now, because you'll look back 10 years from now and go, wow, if I had bought that place. So taking action. Lessons learned in deal number 1, purchasing my primary residence. The lessons learned was, first of all, to get into the market as soon as you can. If you're riding the right cycle, property cycle, that's fantastic. But regardless, the sooner you get in, the better off you're going to be. Lesson number 2 is be creative in finding ways to purchase it. I mean, I was a single parent, low income, but I found a way to put some money together, and then I found creative ways to add value, which is lesson number 3. You can borrow money from people, through your credit card. There's a lot of other strategies to do that. So find creative ways to do it at a low cost. You always want to look at adding $1 worth of value and paying no more than 50 cents. Those are the things I'll talk about in future videos. Number 4, the lesson learn about the property cycles. There's stuff on YouTube. There's all kinds of information, and I'll provide videos in the future on the property cycles. It's really key to taking the risk out of investing. 5, use your own networks to find deals. As you can see in my situation, I had the babysitter's husband, and I had the banker friend. Get out and talk to people, and that's how you're going to find deals, and how you're going to get ideas on how you can do stuff, and bouncing your ideas off your network and friends. Okay, and lesson number 6 is when you finish your renovation, as soon as you can, to refinance all your renovation costs. That's to keep your repayments down, to keep your cash flow positive. And the final lesson is the true value is in the land. So again, the longer you are in the market, the less risk you're going to have, and the better you're going to be for it. So again, you want to get into the market as soon as you can, because renovations help, and we can do things about that, but it's the value in the land. So that was property number 1, my primary residence, and my start on my journey to first generation wealth creating. So if this is sort of this kind of information that you're interested in, stories you're interested in hearing and the lessons learned, then I encourage you to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you'll be aware whenever I release the next video. Because the next video coming up is going to be video 2, my first investment property. So until next time, this is Rick Ward, your working class wealth creator, teaching you how to create, manage, and retain your first generation wealth.